Welcome back to the J.F.K. show. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate it. All the super thankers out there, I thank you in advance, and y'all are the best, man. Y'all are awesome. Thank you.
His girlfriend? No, I think she's passed away.
Testimony revealed
came from Jennifer
McCabe, January 29th,
2022.
Michael Proctor.
Michael Proctor could have written text messages that he didn't know would go public, that he regrets sending. That does not nullify
the evidence
that says that
Johnny was hit by a weapon.
In the first episode, we talk about Chris A. setting this whole thing up. You know, D&E Pizza is right next to C.F. McCarthy.
I'm just trying to recollect what
You know, it's funny how you call it the pizza shop. Trying to make it sound like it's the community and it's such a great place to go get a slice. But it's funny, I looked through your menu and I didn't see any slices, Chris. I didn't see you grab 2 slices with a soda for like $7. I didn't see that, Chris. But then again, I might be wrong. It's the neighborhood. It's the pizza shop. It's where you grab a slice, cheese, pepperoni, or whatever you like.
And you knew that your wife, Julie, was starting the night at C.F. McCarthy's, correct?
Yes.
You know, it's got me thinking, Chris, eh? Was your wife inside C.F. McCarthy's when John was in there and Karen was in there? Because the lawyers, Yannetti, he really didn't ask you them questions on the stand. Because if she was in there, I wonder if she said, hey, after this, we're going down to the waterfall, and Nicole's going to be there, and Brian's going to be there. And then, you know, not for nothing, that probably made Karen say, man, big bad Brian A is going to be there. And we know how Karen feels about Brian A, don't we?
Both times I met Brian Albert, he seemed like the type of person that you'd be surprised he's out socially because he doesn't seem like he ever wants to be there.
He said in that clip that he was real antisocial. And I'm sure when she talked to Higgins, Higgins says, you know, Brian A, big bad Brian A, that's my friend. But you couldn't wait to get your clothes, right, Chris? Nah. It's a ritual. She dropped off the clothes, and you ran down to the waterfall because, God forbid, if you walk 7 minutes up the street. Hurry up and go grab my clothes, Julie. Is that how you found out, Chris, that Karen was with John? And you couldn't wait to pick up the phone, huh, Chris, and tell big bad Brian A, who you knew was with Higgins because they was on their drive back from New York. Pretty sure they called you up. It's crazy that it was little Brian A's birthday, and he didn't even show up. Y'all had different plans, didn't you? New entertainment. Karen's coming through with John. And we're going to see how she reacts when John's in the building and Higgins is in the building. And we're all going to sit back like we don't know what's going on. We're just having fun. But you guys all knew what was going on. Jen knew, Nicole knew, Julie knew, you knew, Chris. Higgins told Brian A, didn't he? And Brian A couldn't keep his mouth shut. And it leaked out to all you guys. And now, it became entertainment. Let's see how she reacts. She's the outsider. She ain't part of that clique. Let's see how she reacts.
So, you have this like little ritual that, you know, after hours and turn on the oven. Miss Reed asked if we could go back and make pizzas up at my pizza shop.
You also said in your testimony, Chris, that she wanted to go to the pizza shop after hours to make some pizzas. You know, it's got me thinking, maybe she did want to go to that pizza shop. And she knew possibly where the night could end up. So she was like, let's go make pizza at your shop. Let's go over there, because she felt safer because it was in the square. Maybe more of a police presence, more people around. Who knows? But she also knows going to big bad Brian A's house is not a good idea. Because who knows what Higgins might have told her about big bad Brian A. Or just based on her own opinion of him, the way he looks, the way he acts, it's not a good look to go over there. Nah, let's just go to your pizza shop. She probably felt safer to be there. Right, Chris A? Is that the reason why she wanted to make some pizza? because she didn't feel safe being around big bad Brian A., especially going to his house. Nah. Because she knows that Higgins and Brian A. are cool. So she'd rather go to the pizza shop. Felt more safer. You said you didn't eat all day, and you was doing this weight loss challenge, and that's the reason why you didn't want to eat pizza that night. But yet, you went to the waterfall and you had potato skins and some beer. How many calories was that? Was you counting your calories, Chris? I mean, you may as well should have ate the pizza. What's the fucking difference? And you know, I've been watching you, Chris, eh? I've been watching all your quirks on the stand. You're a real quirky dude, huh? You be making all these faces, grabbing your ear, touching your face, hitting your chin. Yeah.
I knew they knew each other.
You're saying that they were acquaintances?
No, I guess they're friends.
You guess they're friends?
Yeah, they're friends. Was there something confused? Yeah, they're friends.
You actually woke up when he opened the bedroom door.
I don't think so.
He's a real quirky dude, which leads me to believe that your kid probably has quirks too. And when he got on the stand calling, he seemed like he was real medicated out. What you give him, Chris? Get him back on that medication to calm him down? Because that night, when he was over there on Fairview, he wasn't calm. Nah. Like Yannetti pointed out, you guys never exchanged numbers before other than that night. And you guys weren't as cool as you want to make it seem down the pizza shop getting a slice, and you're just a hard worker, and your wife had to drop off the clothes and you just happened to pop out, and that's just something you wasn't even really trying to do. You know, that's between them, I'm over here, and I really don't know Brian Higgins like that. I think he's an ATF agent. You think, Chris? Yeah, that's what you think? Come on, you know what's going on down there. You know what's happening. You think it's a mob down there. You're the capo, ain't you, Chris? You ran upstairs, your clothes was wet, you fell asleep. But you know, before you left, you bought everybody fireball shots. Everybody was tanked up. But you didn't think it was going to get to this, did you? But it did. And your hands are dirty. And then when Yannetti asked you, Chris, did you tell Michael Proctor your son was there? You said you don't remember. Conveniently. Of course you don't remember. Chris, you set it all up. You know what happened. Your wife, you got her going down there telling donut stories, rituals, these words to keep you on course, to memorize. It's like a script. You got to memorize the script. Certain words, ritual, keeps you on script. The next bar, the next line. Isn't that right, Chris? But then you start scratching. You start touching your nose. You start making weird sounds, your quirks. We can see the lies, Chris. Can't hide it. You're a quirky fellow. So ain't your brother, Brian A. Big bad Brian A. Quirky cop. So he was out there in Dorchester. Very diverse place, man. A big place. And he thought that he was part of that culture down there in Dorchester. But he wasn't. He's a Canton kid. And that action, man, it's a rush. Oh, it's a rush. Isn't it, big bad Brian A? He had the nerve to show up in the courtroom and that same mentality that he had when he was on Dorchester Ave, running up on kids, violating all their rights. That same mentality, he showed up with J.F.K, with Colin, staring down the jury, making them question why would they show up if they had something to do with it. Let me ask you a question, Higgins. If Karen did get with you, and she did say, I like you, Higgins, I don't want to be with John no more, what were you going to do? You were going to show up to the waterfall? You're going to show up to the hillside? You're going to show up to C.F. McCarthy's with Karen right in front of John? And when John said, hey, what are you doing with my girl? What were you going to do, Higgins? You was ready for that, though, huh, Higgins? You was ready to take his girl. You know, we all know how you spun the block. You had the secret sauce in your beard. Yeah. You rewinded time. You had the pot in your ear. Yeah, you were going on another run, weren't you, Higgins? Yeah, you were feeling yourself when you pulled up and she was on the lawn. Then you gave her a nickname, the Weed Whacker Girl. Man. And it's funny, you know, she mentioned that plow truck a lot, Karen. She said he could have got hit by a plow, and it's got me questioning, was you stalking her, Higgins? Maybe she looked in the rear view and she seen that white truck with the plow on it. When she went to Market Basket, yeah, she's in the aisle. She looks to her left, there's Higgins. What are you doing here, Higgins? I'm just grabbing some Oreo cookies. You don't like Oreo cookies, Karen? What type of cookies do you like? I could cook better than John, believe me. Be with me. Is that what it was like, Higgins? You were stalking her? You were popping out? Everywhere she was? You was doing that ATF shit, huh? That's what you was doing, huh, Higgins? And you know, and I don't know why they didn't cross-examine Kerry Roberts, because then you would ask this question too about J.F.K. Doesn't every minute count in a situation like that? You pull up to the scene, you see John down. The time it took for Jen to call 911 and for them to be there knowing that Brian A. was in that house, shouldn't you be mad at her, Kerry? That's your boy, John, on the ground. Officer John O'Keefe is on the ground, and there's an officer in the house, a first responder. It's crazy how rigid you really are, Kerry and Jen. The only person that was showing emotion and compassion was Karen. Y'all are looking at it like it was nothing. Every minute counts. You didn't run in the house to grab him, to assess the situation. He's a first responder. Your friend Jen, Kerry, didn't run in there to get him. Every minute counts. Just imagine being in that situation. Someone's down on the ground. You don't know CPR. You don't know what to do. And there's a house right in front of you. And you know for a fact that person in that house can help. And your friend doesn't go in there to get that person. Wouldn't you be mad? Damn, Kerry. I'd be mad at J.F.K. for not doing that. Ask yourself this question. Why didn't she?
I responded, oh, okay. Defendant responded,
I'm 42. I know what happens when you invite
someone over for a drink. The master of avoidance. So.
At 7:20, I called Brian Higgins.